If you grew up people pleasing, then the idea of setting boundaries and limits with people can feel really mean. Maybe you know that you need to make some changes in your life, but the thought of telling someone how you truly feel or saying no to someone can feel terrifying. Or maybe you're in the place where you really don't want to hurt people, but you know you need to start setting some limits in your life. So how can you do that? How can you set limits and boundaries with people without coming across as cold, controlling, or even just plain old mean? That's what I'm going to be talking about in today's video, how to set boundaries the kind way, and when kindness is not actually the best way to set a boundary. There are certain situations where kindness does no one any favors. So before we get into that, in case you're new here, welcome. My name is Lindsay and I am the Real Love Alchemist, and I help you go from bad relationships to real love with the magic of subconscious work. So if you are in a position where you are having such a hard time with setting limits and boundaries with people, there could be some subconscious blocks going on. So I use energy healing to release those blocks for you and help you to be able to set limits in your life as one of the many things that we can do with subconscious work. So if you are interested in learning more about that, click on the link in the description that says work with me. All right, so before we talk about how to set boundaries and limits the kind way, we've got to get clear on what a boundary is. Because if you don't know what it is, it can be very difficult to actually do it, to set limits with people. So a boundary is a physical, emotional, or mental limit that we set to protect ourselves and to clarify how we want to be treated by other people. So boundaries help us maintain who we are in the context of other people, and they make sure that our values and our needs are respected, because often people have very different limits and boundaries and needs in a relationship. It's not always obvious what one person needs and what one person doesn't. So these are things that we do have to first figure out for ourselves and then be able to communicate them to other people. Because I don't know if this has happened to you, but I've been in relationships with people or friends and family, and I have assumed that because I want something, that's what they would want as well. And I go about and I do that thing, and they're like, hey, I don't like that. Can you not do that? And I'm like, oh, I had no idea. So a lot of times we assume that we know what other people's needs or boundaries are, but we are actually not correct. So just to break this down a little bit more, a physical boundary, that might be talking about how you feel related to physical touch. So that could be like the kind of touch that you're okay with, and the kind of touch that you are not okay with, or the circumstances where you're okay with touch or you're not okay with touch. So an emotional boundary could be how much information you're comfortable sharing with other people about yourself, how much personal information you want to divulge to any particular person at any particular moment. Another emotional boundary could be how you allow others to speak to you. If you're not okay with a certain tone of voice or a way that someone's speaking, that would be considered an emotional boundary. Now, notice here that I'm making it all about you. So boundaries are not telling people what to do or trying to control them. It's what you are okay with and what you are not okay with. And I'm going to share more about how you can communicate that and how you can handle that. So when we get into this place where we feel like setting a limit or even just having a boundary or a need feels not okay, that's usually because we had caregivers who, when we were younger, were not okay with boundaries. They either didn't do them or they didn't respect them at all, and maybe they overstepped your boundaries very often. And so when that happens, you can grow up feeling like, gosh, it's not okay to have boundaries. Or maybe if you had a caregiver who, when you said something, when you set a limit or had a need, they took it very personally, or they even told you that that's mean or you can't do that to me. So we can come away from those experiences believing that setting limits and boundaries is mean or it's controlling or we shouldn't do it. But that is not the case at all. Or we can also come away with feeling like, yeah, I know it's important to have boundaries, but you know what? Nobody's going to respect them anyway, so I may as well not have them. That might have been your situation. But here's the thing. Setting boundaries is so important for having a healthy relationship, because like in the example that I shared before, we tend to go about thinking that what we need is what other people need, and that is very often not the case. We are very different people. We have very different wounds, very different backgrounds. And so everyone has their own unique limits, their own unique boundaries. And so we have to be able to communicate them in a relationship if we want the relationship to be good, if we want to get along, if we want to feel safe and comfortable with the people in our lives. And the crazy thing is, well, I guess not so crazy, but for me, it was crazy to learn this because I was in a situation like that myself. I didn't grow up understanding that having healthy boundaries was required in a good relationship. And so I was shocked that when I started dating my partner, who's my now husband, he said that he really wanted me to have limits and boundaries. Now, I did have them at the time. I was communicating them, but he expressed to me one day how much he liked that about me, and that blew my mind. And I asked him why. Is that something that you like? It's not something that turns you off or just like a necessary evil. And he said that it actually helps me to feel safe, to know that you know your limits and you are able to tell me what they are. And I think that's the case across the board. I think most people feel much more comfortable, unless they're very unhealthy and they've got a lot of baggage going on, they actually do feel much better knowing how you feel, knowing that you have limits, knowing what's okay and what's not okay. Because then they know that you're fully present in the relationship. You're not just saying something to keep the peace. You're being real. You're being authentic. And that helps your partner or anyone in your life to feel safe with you. So how do we set these boundaries with people without coming across as cold? And I want to say, like, that's actually a realistic thing to be concerned about, because if we do it the wrong way, yeah, we can come across as a little bit harsh or even a little bit controlling. So there is a way to do this while still being kind with people. So let's break that down here. So the first thing to do when we're setting clear, kind boundaries is to literally be very clear and direct. Now, this doesn't have to be harsh or abrupt, but just something that's not overly vague or not apologetic, like, gosh, I'm so sorry, I really am not going to be able to do this because I've got this thing, and you're kind of just, you've got this very apologetic tone. Not like that. More like just, here's the deal. So instead of saying something like, yeah, I don't think I can help you with that today. You can just say something instead like, hey, I'm sorry, I won't be able to help you with that today because I've got this other thing going on. So your tone is kind, your tone is respectful. You're acknowledging that they would like you to help you with this thing, and you're saying, I'm sorry, I can't because I have to go to baseball practice with my son. So you're just giving a very clear reason why you can't do it. And you're not overly apologizing. You're not making all kinds of crazy excuses. You're just keeping it short and simple and to the point. And people really appreciate that. If you go into this whole long-winded, very apologetic explanation, people tend to just not like that as much as the clearness and the directness that you can show them when you're setting a limit. So the next way you can set a boundary while keeping it kind is to use I statements. So that means focus on you. Now, I know that sometimes when we are in conflict with someone, emotions are high, we forget to do this, and we can use you statements, and we can say things like, you always take up so much of my time, or you're always asking me to do this. And you may very well feel that way. You may feel like this person is always doing that, or they are always not doing this, but saying you statements is never going to win you any friends or favors here. So you want to keep it about yourself. So if you're feeling like, gosh, this person they're always taking up my time, what you can say instead is, I need to focus on myself right now. I need some time to recharge. I'm tired and I need to go take a nap. So it's about you. It's not about the other person. You're not blaming anyone else. When you make it about you, that's a much kinder way to set a limit with someone. So if the other person, when you're setting this boundary and limit, is not taking it as well as you would like, you can practice some empathy in that situation, but still stick to your limit. So let's say you're talking to someone and they really wanted you to help with something, and you've said, I'm so sorry, I've got to do this thing, I've got to take care of myself today. maybe they're not happy about that. They're not thrilled with that. And you can say, hey, like, I really do understand that this was important to you and you really wanted my help today. And again, I'm sorry I'm not able to. If you want at this point, you can offer to help another time, or you can offer to do something else for this person. You don't have to, but you can offer that. But you still want to stick to your limit if that is something that is really important to you. So that's what we call offering alternatives. If this person wanted to hang out the next day and you can't, you could say, hey, I'm sorry, that sounded really fun. I have to do this other thing instead, but could we circle back around and meet up next week or in 2 days? And that helps other people to feel like their needs do matter to you too. Even though you're going to stick with your limit, you're going to stick with your boundary because that is important to you, you're still saying, hey, I also do care about what you need. And so here's my alternative. Here's my compromise. Can that work for you? The last thing that you can do to be able to set boundaries with kindness is to make sure that you keep your tone calm and even. I've heard people say, I think, what is the phrase? Like, how you say it means so much more than the words you say. And I think that can be true for the most part. If you're saying something with a very harsh tone, or you can tell there's some agitation in your voice or you're upset, people can interpret that as you coming across as mean or controlling or just not very pleasant. We want to make sure that we're not raising our voice or coming across as condescending. So when you're setting these boundaries, you keep the tone calm. You keep it at a conversational level and you just, again, be direct and clear, but while maintaining some empathy for the other person at the same time. That will go so far when you're trying to set limits with people. If you can keep that tone calm and respectful, then most people will be empathetic towards the boundaries and the limits that you're trying to set. They will respect them because you have been respectful in the way that you've communicated them. Now, if they're not, if you've communicated your boundaries in the way that I've described, very clear, but kind with empathy, and they are still not respecting them, then that's something to consider. This might not be a person that you want to spend a lot of time around. You may have to set a boundary that looks like taking some distance with this person. But in general, if you follow these tips here, most people will receive your boundaries very well. Now, let's talk about exceptions when kindness is not the way to set a boundary. And really, the main exception here is when you are in physical danger in any way. So if that's the case, if your safety is in danger, then don't go through this whole process of trying to figure out how should I say it so that I don't upset them and I'm maintaining empathy. No, don't do that. Like if a stranger is touching you on the bus or something and you're trying to figure out, oh, maybe I should say like, I can see you like touching me, but I don't want that. No, just say, don't touch me. And do what you need to do to get out of that situation. When physical safety is an issue, be as direct as you can. Do not worry about hurting someone's feelings. Do not worry about having empathy and compassion and being calm and kind. Do what you need to do, say what you need to say. So there's a reason why I said physical danger is really the only exception to this. Because if I said, well, throw the rules out the window when you feel emotionally unsafe, that is a very slippery slope. Because someone could say something to hurt you, and you could be very upset and very emotionally distressed. But if you're still physically safe, then I would recommend sticking to keeping it kind, keeping it clear, keeping it direct, having empathy. Because it's very easy when we're upset, when we're in conflict, to slip into using you statements, accusing each other of something. And like I shared in the beginning, that's actually not going to serve you very well. It's not going to get you what you want, which is this person respecting your limits and really hearing you. So I say, even if you're emotionally hurt, even if you're emotionally upset, but you're physically safe, stick to the formula here. Because like I said, if we're emotional and we're in conflict and we're upset, it's very easy for us to justify raising our voice or speaking harshly to someone. And if you're in a loving relationship, that's not something that you want to do to the other person. Even if they hurt you, even if you're upset, if you're still physically safe. Now, if you're not sure or you are in physical danger, all bets are off. Like I said, say what you need to say. So I'm going to leave you with this. Remember that setting boundaries is not mean. It's part of a healthy, loving relationship. It's what you have to do if you want your relationship to be good and satisfying and loving. So if still after watching this video, the thought of setting boundaries makes you feel like, I can't do it, I just don't know how to do it, then please reach out for help. This is something that I specialize in helping my clients with. Using energy healing, we dive into the subconscious and we figure out what's causing this fear. You know, maybe it's suppressed emotional energies from the past, where maybe there was a time where you tried to set a limit in the past and it did not go well. Maybe someone criticized you or shamed you, and those energies are still sitting in your subconscious. Maybe you have some negative beliefs. I know I had a ton of them. Like it wasn't okay to have boundaries, or people aren't going to respect my boundaries. And when you have those beliefs, it's very difficult to feel like you can set those limits with people. So with the energy healing, we can clear out those beliefs too. So if you know that this is you, if you know that there's probably something going on in your subconscious and you want some help with that, again, click on the link in the description that says work with me. You can schedule a free consultation and we'll talk about your specific situation and how I might be able to help. Speaking of people pleasing, one of the things that fuels people pleasing is a fear of abandonment. It's a really common wound. And if you think you might have that going on, check out this video here.